We'll get ready this week with our practices and prepare ourselves, play against really a good offense, a good defense, and good special teams. They've got very good coaches. Bill O'Brien's a friend, and he does a heck of a job there. Tim Kelly works with them. Romeo, we know. And Brad Seeley's been the special teams coach forever in this league and done a heck of a job there. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
Andy, anytime you play a team twice, there's always, looking back at the first matchup, but if that's in October, just how different is an NFL team from that point to when you're in January?
Yeah, well, I think probably you could say that about every, right? You're kind of saying, give me that's a general question. But yeah, every team, I think, changes throughout the season. They develop their personality, and we've all got the highs and the lows, and you kind of work through that, and then here you sit. So we're not the same as we were at the beginning. They're not the same as they were at the beginning. So here we go, right?
Coach, when you look at the tape of the Texans game and the Bills game, what stood out to you the most about J.J. Watt and this game back from a torn pectoral muscle?
Yeah, always an amazing guy. Always been the MVP a couple different times. He great player, passionate, all the things that you expect from a future Hall of Fame player. So, yeah.
Coach, what's it say about their team that they're able to persevere, to get down 16-0, and they're able to come back and win that game?
Yeah, well, they're a good football team, so they don't give up, and that's the way you prepare yourself. You're getting a team that's going to play to the end, play 4 quarters of football. And so we take a lot of pride in doing that. They take a lot of pride in doing it, and that's what will make it a great game.
What was your process when you were watching the games this weekend, particularly the Texans game? Were you here? Were you at home? Were you taking note? Just kind of what do you do when you watch?
Yeah, I was here. Watched both games, all 4 games actually. So, but I was here, and you take what you can off of the game, and knowing that you're going to get it right after that, be able to analyze it. And at the same time, you're in the process of working and going through all those seasons. All 3 teams is what we did that we had a chance to play. So we hit every game.
Coach, you were missing a number of players when you guys played the Texans earlier this season. What kind of competitive advantage does it give you now that the Texans didn't see players like Chris Jones when you played them earlier?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be one of those games. They've got good players. We've got good players, and whatever happened back then happened, and we roll now. They're different, and we're different, and should lead to a pretty good game.
And what stands out to you about Will Fuller, what he brings to that offense when he's actually on the field, and how they scheme?
Yeah, well, I mean, the obvious is speed and trust with the quarterback. So he's an explosive player. We've seen that firsthand. We understand that, but that's part of it. He's a great deep threat and does some good things on the intermediate game too. So,
Andy, you got a quarterback that kind of has a little bit of Houdini in him, Mahomes. Watson's got that little trait too. How rare is it for what these guys can do, second reaction plays, and how do you deal with that on defense?
Yeah, how great is that for the National Football League? First of all, have these good young quarterbacks, and then 2, to answer the defensive part, you got to play. You got to be fundamentally sound. You got to come in with a certain mindset and play aggressive football, and that's how it rolls.
Armani Watts, one of your core special teams players, how has the ability to play on special teams helped him in his development, and especially he's projected now to maybe assume a bigger role?
Yeah, so what you see with the guys, in particular linebackers and safeties that play on special teams when they're young, and then you see them develop, are angles and speed of the game. So angles to the ball, and then they get accustomed to the speed of the game and playing in space. So I would tell you that's what he's learned through his team's play.
Andy, your defense obviously is so much different than it was this time a year ago. What is Tyron's part of that on and off the field, and especially off the field, did you see that as like sort of part of the job description for him? I mean,
Yeah, well, we knew that's what we were getting. I talked to Bill, actually, and Bill would have loved to have had him there. It is just part of the National Football League and the way it works, but he told me he was a phenomenal kid on the field and off, great leader. So kind of had a heads up on what we were getting here. So part of the job description, I just wanted him to be himself, and you know, you start having to put things on like that make it up. That normally doesn't work. Guys read through it, but I think it just comes natural with him. Yeah.
Andy, why do you believe back in March that Tyron picked you guys over maybe returning to Houston?
Yeah, I don't know that. You can ask him that. I mean, both are good football teams and well run, and so you know, part of free agency. You know, that's how the things work.
Coach, every year guys, after the fact, say how much it means to them when they're voted as captains for the playoffs. Have you guys gone through that process and just who are the captains for the playoffs this year?
Yeah, so both our kickers are the special teams captains. Tyron's one of them on defense. Hitch, Kelson, and Pat are on offense. So I leave that up to the team to pick, and we do that for playoffs, playoff captains. And that's how we roll throughout the playoffs.
Coach, you mentioned you watched all the games. The interesting moment in between Vrabel and Belichick was the deal with taking the delays and all that. What are your thoughts about that rule, the way it is now, and if that will be a loophole that's closed? And how much time do you guys spend trying to find little things like that you can maybe use?
Yeah, listen, I'm sure that'll be addressed. We all know the rule, and it's one of those things. You don't always have the opportunity to do something like that, but you know, if it's there, you use it and you go with it. You're not breaking the rule. That's not what you're doing. And then the league always, the competition committee, they reconvene after every year and they go through that. And it might be just that. Maybe they close that up. And but I'm sure it'll be addressed. It's been done a few times here now, so I'm sure it'll be addressed.
Coach, can you talk about Deshaun Watson? You watched him obviously since he was at Clemson. Can you talk about how he's progressed as a player and what jumps out at the most when you look at him?
Yeah, we actually brought him up here too before the draft and had a nice visit with him, and a ton of respect for him. He's a great player. He was great in college. He's great now. So he's going to do nothing but get better as it goes on, which is phenomenal for the NFL. And look forward to the challenge of, having an opportunity to play against him.
Andy, Pat obviously got some playoff experience last year. Watson's had a couple games. Do you feel like playoff experience is more important for quarterbacks maybe than any other position, or is it just like any other position in that regard?
Yeah, you know what, Em? I think it's important for all of them. I think it's important for the quarterback, but for all the guys, everything gets a little faster every level you go up in the playoffs. The urgency, it's obviously a single elimination, so the urgency levels up. You got to be in a certain mindset when you get into the playoffs, and you have to understand that. So until you experience, you can stand there as a coach and you can explain it and go through all that, but experience sure helps.
But no more important for those two guys than for anybody else?
I think it's for everybody. I think you see it on the offensive and defensive lines. The higher you go up in the playoffs, the more you understand that those are two really important positions if you didn't know it before.
Coach, do you feel you have more NFL teams in New Orleans in particular when in the offseason the NFL examines its overtime rules again?
So I didn't get
Do you
you.
feel you have more NFL teams in your corner when the NFL re-examines the overtime rules?
Yeah, potentially. Sean's on the committee, so and he was on it last year too. So he's probably got more experience than he wants right now. I'm sure it'll be brought up again. I feel like it's been brought up every year I've been in it. They just it gets talked about somewhere down at the owner meetings and combine, and so I'm sure it'll be brought up again.
A couple more guys.
Andy, is there a touch of McNabb and Deshaun Watson? Just a touch.
Yeah, I hate comparing. I hate doing that because I think they're all different. Donovan was phenomenal, and did it for so long. And but both of them are strong and make things happen. You know, they strong mentally, physically, love to play. I mean, all those. I mean, you can add that all up together, but they all do it their own way, that's a neat thing to watch. You know.
Coach Ron Parker put out on social media that he was retiring earlier today. Just from the big picture, just what did he mean to you, and what do you remember most about him playing?
Yeah, I mean, we got him in that mix when we first got here of players that we were able to sneak off of the wire there. So he came in and as a small college guy, and I just thought did a great job. I told him he'd be a great coach. You know, he kind of knew what was going on. He had a great way about him, good leader, all those things, and could run like a son of a gun. He was really a dual position guy, so you could play corner or you could put him at safety. He was smart enough where you could move him into the nickel spots, and so world of respect for him. Loved to play the game. You know, he had a twin brother that should have been playing, but had the accident there and wasn't able to. But they'd always get me mixed up after the game in the party. I mean, they look exactly the same. But great person.
Not necessarily a comparison of players, but I'm going back to your Eagle days. You had a kicker that was voted to the all-decade team in David Akers, but with Harrison Butker now in his third year, what do you look for in a kicker to decide if they're going to have that longevity?
Yeah, they have to stay in shape. I mean, people don't think that, but they've got to maintain their lower body strength. And so if you're asking me longevity, they got to make the kicks, number one, to stay on the team. But then to make it go, they've got to keep themselves physically in shape. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, in particular on the back end there, so where your drive strength comes from. So the older guys need to really focus in on that and do that. And that's what David did. You mentioned David. David was a great kicker, but there was a point where he started losing a little bit on the back end, and then he put an off season into that and just strengthened himself up with a couple different types of exercise, and came back and was on fire the next year. So you've got to maintain that strength as you get a little bit older. Yeah.
All right. Oh, last one. Go ahead.
Sorry. Coach, you've talked about how much you love coaching, and all your guys love coaching. Is this fun? Is this what it's about? Is this?
Well, this right here isn't fun, but coaching in these type of games is, yes, I love it. Absolutely. I mean, this is what it's all about. You got great competition, you got great coaches, great players, and an opportunity to play in front of our fans in a great setting. And that's what it's all about. I mean, we love that. That's why we do this. So, yeah, it's
Thank you.
good.
All right, thanks.